everybody, and welcome to my review of Marvel's Avengers Assemble, or The Avengers, whatever you wish to call it. They had to retitle it because in the UK there is a TV show called The Avengers, so for legal reasons they had to change the title just a little bit to Avengers Assemble. In the US it is still known as The Avengers. So, Marvel's Avengers Assemble. If you've seen my review of Justice League, which is the DC version of this movie, then I did say I was going to be reviewing this movie in comparison to that. And also to kind of fill in the blanks of the MCU movies I've also not reviewed. So, Avengers Assemble. This came out about 5 years ago. It was to mark the end of the first phase of movies from the MCU. And it was the coming together of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Nick Fury, and Hulk. Yeah, I think I said Hulk. Yeah. Basically, the story is they all come together to take down Loki, who wants his revenge. He wants to conquer Earth now, seeing as he was unable to conquer Asgard. He has come after one of the big Infinity Stones, known as the Tesseract, which also acts as a portal to other worlds. And of course, there's a big army. There's an alien army called the Chitauri that Loki has, and yeah, that's really it, to be honest. And it's mainly to see these characters come together. So yeah, that's pretty much what you've got going on in Avengers Assemble. So, Avengers Assemble. What do I think of it? It's fucking great. I mean, let's be honest. It is great entertainment. I'm not saying this movie's a masterpiece. It's not perfect, but it is very good, and it was definitely very satisfying, to watch. And I think that it delivered on so many levels. Joss Whedon should be proud of himself. He did a great job with this movie. I really liked it. And it's definitely one of the strongest in the MCU by far. It's like top 5 or top 3, definitely. I'm going to do a big MCU ranking after Black Panther comes out, and I've reviewed that. Before Infinity War comes out, which is like the sort of an end of a cycle, really. Avengers Assemble is just great fun, and it knows that. It knows how to have fun with itself, while also taking itself quite seriously. I mean, at the end of the day, we've all come to see these characters come together, and while it does take its time to get to that, it's definitely worth it. I didn't say it was perfect. I do think my only few criticisms really of the movie are that the movie's plot could have been a bit more layered. It does feel very simplistic. I mean, it works. It's a fine plot. It's decent enough. But I would have liked something. I would like just a little bit more drama added in there. There is an emotional moment in this film, which I'll get to later. And obviously there's squabbles between the characters. But the movie never really goes as dramatic as I would have possibly liked. But that is a nitpick. That is a nitpick. Because for sheer entertainment value, this movie rocks. And I had a smile on my face the whole time. My only other criticism of the movie is that I do think that it is a little bit too long. I think it could have lost at least 20 minutes of its runtime. There are sections in the movie that kind of drag slightly. Mainly towards the beginning. The first 30 to 40 minutes are a little bit slow. We're kind of padding to get to these people meeting. I would have liked a brisker pace, but other than that, the movie's great. I love the characters. They're all just wonderful. Robert Downey Jr. returns as Iron Man. He's great. And I like the tension that he has with Captain America, obviously, foreshadowing the Civil War. Chris Evans is equally as good as Captain America. He's probably the most serious out of all of them. He's the one that he doesn't tell as many jokes as like Iron Man or any of the others. And I think Thor is good in the movie. He comes into the movie quite late. His role isn't necessarily as big as some of the others, but he's in it. You know, at least he's in it. Um, he has some good, dramatic scenes with Loki, because obviously they are adopted brothers. So there's that continuation of the movie Thor. And what I like about this movie is that it just assumes that you've seen the other movies prior to this. So you don't need to, although you don't need to see the Incredible Hulk. It doesn't really relate to this in any way whatsoever. Yeah, so I like that. So if you, I mean, you could argue that there isn't much character development for the most part. Although there are, there are character beats, but the actual sort of nitty gritty of each character has all been explored, because what Marvel have done is they've built up to this. They've each had their own movies. Even though Hulk was played by a different actor in The Incredible Hulk. Although Mark Ruffalo is going to get his own set of Hulk movies, so we've got that to look forward to. So we understand, all their backstories and how they became the heroes they are, and so the movie's just like, let's just get them together. And yeah, they do. And it's great. The action of this movie is terrific. Some might argue that there is a lot of action, probably too much. I mean, the climax, it does go on a bit. But I was still thoroughly entertained by it. I mean, yeah, the army of aliens are kind of meaningless and they do nothing. That's probably one other criticism I have. They're just not very intimidating, shall we say. But, they're okay. They're fine. I don't think I'm not going to hold that against the movie, because the movie's not about that. Every time you see those characters on screen, it is just gold. And also the Hulk, the Hulk is in this movie. Prior to this, Hulk had two movies, one in the MCU and one not. The Ang Lee Hulk, which I must review one day, that was fucking terrible. And then the Incredible Hulk, which was also terrible in my opinion. I don't rate that movie at all. I really don't. It's my least favorite MCU film. It's just not very good. It just really isn't very good. So, and it's very hard to make a movie with the Hulk, and I think what they've done here is the best that they can do, is make him a supporting character. So I'm going to be interested to see how they do Mark Ruffalo's movies, because he'll be the main focus. Yeah, I liked him in this movie. As Bruce Banner as well, I think he's great. He's just got such a likability about him, and which Eric Bana and Edward Norton didn't. I mean, Eric Bana suffered under the direction of Ang Lee, and Edward Norton's whole Bruce Banner was just depressing. It was just boring. So, at least Mark Ruffalo has a sense of charm about him. The music is cool. I like Alan Silvestri's score, especially that main theme, the da 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 da. And I like the movie. It's comedy, it's very funny, it's very entertaining. Like I said, this story, there's not really much to it. It's just, it's a basic premise, but like I said, the movie has fun with it, and it makes itself one of the most entertaining films of the MCU. I think Joss Whedon's direction is great. Visually, I think it's very good. I was very surprised by the opening sequence as well of this film, where S.H.I.E.L.D. was basically destroyed. Well, the base was destroyed in the opening scene. That was cool. That was really, really well done. There's a few others like Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. Stellan Skarsgard is in the movie as well. But how can I let this review pass without mentioning the fantastic antagonist, Loki? Well done. Tom Hiddleston, you absolute legend. This is probably one of his best performances in the MCU. Loki in this film is great. Just the way he's so riven with hatred. How he manages to nearly tear apart the Avengers by getting them to hate each other, and then obviously he has the closest relationship to Thor. So when the scenes with him and Thor are really very well done, and I thought the movie definitely hit to a dramatic level. It could have gone a little bit further, but it was dramatic enough for what they had. And it's, like I said, it's just fun. It's great fun. And I love the moment when Captain America said, "Oh, Hulk, smash!" that was that was excellent. The script is very good. It's very witty. It's very solid. Regarding the emotional moment that I talked about, the death of Agent Coulson, well, or death, quote unquote, death of Agent Coulson was handled really well. That was very moving. I was surprised to how much Tony Stark didn't give a crap. I think that was even a little bit too far, even for him. You know, but yeah, oh well. It's you know, it's one of those things. But there was a very nice moment there. I also didn't really like how Hawkeye was a villain for the first half of the movie. I mean, he was under some kind of spell that Loki does, and consequently that turns him evil for a brief period of time, and then obviously they snap him out of it, and he joins them in the final fight. So yeah, I didn't really like that, but you know, that's not a major criticism. It's just great. It's great fun, and you can stick it on, just have a great time watching it. And obviously, you know, we're all looking forward to Infinity War, which is going to have a hell of a lot more characters. So yeah, this is nothing compared to that. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's really fun, and if you take it too seriously, you probably won't enjoy it. But you know, you have to kind of let yourself back, have fun with it. You know, obviously take it seriously, but you know, not to the extent that you're really like that. I mean, it's not dark at all. It's a light film. It's light. It's fun. It's breezy. It's much different to Justice League in that sense. Although the whole idea of the cubes is in both films. So yeah, that's kind of a shame, but oh well. Yeah, and I thought that there was a section during the middle when there's this big helicarrier action sequence when Hulk and Thor are fighting as well, and Loki tries to, like, and Hawkeye try and blow up the helicarrier, and they're all fighting each other, and then Stark and Rogers are trying to repair the helicarrier to get it going again. That was great. So yeah, I mean, Avengers Assemble, it's great. It's really good. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's a little bit too long. It could have lost some of its runtime. I didn't really like Hawkeye being the villain that much. But overall, very, very good effort from Marvel. And I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Yes, so that's pretty much everything I can say about Avengers Assemble. What do you think of it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please put your comments down below. Let me know. And I will be reviewing Avengers Age of Ultron, which is the sequel that was released in 2015. Yes, so that's it for now, guys. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See ya.